Let's talk about the VS, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about the VS.
Evercade Effect.
Hello fellow Evercadians and retro enthusiasts. This is the Evercade Effect and I'm Retro Q-9. And it is the year 2022 and this is my VS review. But before we get started, just want to talk about, if you happen to stumble upon my channels to the YouTube universe, you could please subscribe. It really helps me out and you're not going to want to miss all future updates of Evercade retro related. And while you're at it, while you're on that page there, if you could please subscribe to my secondary channel, Calling All Retro Gamers, where me and my good buddy Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions, we do a live retro video game podcast, yeah! And I want everyone to be a part of it. Okay, so, we're going to go ahead and talk about a few things in this video. We're going to talk about all the good things, which is going to be from a hardware standpoint, from firing it up, to the UI, to the controller, and we're going to go ahead and talk about some things that, you know, it's not a perfect device, it's close, but there's some things that, you know, I could see improvement for the future that I feel could be resolved through the firmware.
Yeah, I know.
So, let's go ahead, let's fire it up. Man, this just gets me every time with the blinking LED lights. You know, they didn't have to do that. That was a really nice touch. And then when it is booted up, it's red. I think it gives you those cool Knight Rider vibes. At least for the VS it does, since it's black. If you got the white version, that's cool too. I personally like the black and red color scheme, but you know, whatever floats your boat. And I do like how it's a real power button. And same way when you go ahead and shut it off, it, you know, gives you the same feeling that it's going to sleep for the day. You know, I like that. For me, it's very old school and reminiscent. Yeah, you know, we don't need to be able to turn it on remotely like you can on the PS4. I mean, that's fine for modern consoles, but I like the retro feel. So yeah, before I talk about more of these physical attributes, let's just go ahead. Let's dive into the UI because we got to talk about that. Alrighty, well we do have to talk about the UI because this is a review. So first off, I first wanted to talk about how the games look in your collection. To me, this is just freaking amazing. This isn't just the VS, this is the new firmware. And when you scroll through, how it's so simple. You can see all your games. You can choose your sorts, by players, by titles. It's just fantastic. As far as finding your games and everything, yeah, Blaze knocked it out of the park. Now, we go about settings. I'm just going to briefly go over this a little bit again. I feel I have to because it's a review, but I don't want to spend too much time on this part because it's been talked to death in other videos. But I love these options. Aspect ratio, super simple, super good. They just give you the main options you need. Same with the shaders, and then you have a good line of bezels. One thing I would want to point out as a critique is I would like to see where you would actually have the bezels of the games that you're playing, or at least the ability to download that, whether it stores it on the VS or the carts. I think that's great. And then again, more scan lines. We have our themes. You know, I would love to see more themes than just the defaults, I'm sure, over time, or at least the ability to download more themes. Sound is great. I love the chill BGM music in the background and the sound effects. That's really neat. Network. Yeah, we've got to connect to our wireless capabilities. Nothing really special to go over there. Accessibility, I think it's great. You know, for people who are colorblind, who need it, that's excellent. And of course, we have our languages, so yeah, pick the one that works for you here. And then in our system, very simple. We got our check for updates, got our map firmware, and really checking for updates are super easy. You just press a button. You know, once you have your wireless set up, nothing special you have to do here. Hey, my console's up to date, and our legal support, and then credits. Which, of course, as we all know, if you scroll down far enough, you know, spoiler, you'll see yourself. And then the secret menu. This has got to be my favorite thing about the UI. One of the coolest, very super cool things that I went ahead and added. So all perfect. So now, go back here to the games list. Pick one of the games. I love how you can do this. Read more. You get a little description of the game. And then you can go down to the controls. And then when you're in the game, I'm just going to go ahead and launch this for no particular reason, just because we have to be in the game to get into the menu. And I went ahead and I should have picked load last save. Otherwise, it's taken too friggin' long here. Alright, so now that we're in here, I do like that you can go down, and again, you can see the controls at any time in case you forgot. You can adjust the display settings. And then, of course, you have your options to load your saves and delete your saves. And then my favorite option, quick save and load last save. Oh, those options are just really good. It's been a long time coming here. So yeah, the interface, it's better than I would have imagined. And to me, it feels good, and it works perfectly in my opinion. Okay, we're back. So yeah, went ahead and covered the UI, review. I had to, but let me talk about a few other things. So, gotta talk about the dual cartridge slot. Oh, this was a very great and welcome feature. So one thing that I love, not only do you get rewarded with a bonus game, or maybe games in the future, by having 2 carts, like 2 Ataris, or a combination of other collections. That was really sweet, and it's neat to be able to chill back and just relax and not have to pop carts in and out. And when you do, it gives you that great sound. It's so satisfying. So they knocked that out of the park. And the form factor, it's small, you can easily bring it to a buddy's house, it doesn't take up much room. For the Founder Edition, I love that they made it black all the way around. The white and the red on the inside, that's cool to match Evercade as well, nothing wrong with that. This is just my preference. So yeah, the physical attributes of the hardware, it's very good. I mean, it's light enough to you can easily move it around, but not too light where it feels cheap. And then we got the rubber feet on the bottom of it, which is just a nice touch. And then for the controllers, it's USB ports. Easy peasy, right? So speaking of the controllers, let me talk about this. So first of all, with the D-pad, clicky clicky, and the buttons, clicky clicky, right? I love the clickiness. There's something about a clicky controller that's really good. The D-pad, it feels great. It's just, I've never had any moves playing diagonally or anything. And my biggest test was playing Xenocrisis. No issues of anything. I was able to control it better than on the handheld. And the buttons, the presses, they feel good. The L2 and R2, they feel good. Now, I want to address something else too here, community. I've seen in the YouTube forums and Discords people complaining about, oh, the controller's too boxy, it's too square. It's like, really? Really? I think people forget that the original Nintendo controller, while rectangular, it was a pointy as hell. Look how smooth this is. Look how nice that is. I think people that say that, I wonder, if you use the controller, your hand fits perfectly here. Now, maybe some of you game and you hold it like that, which to me, that feels awkward with any controller, even a PS4 controller. What I believe it's supposed to be used is put your fingers here under this little ledge, or under these butt cheeks. Put it right here. You get a nice firm grip. If you do that, I promise you're going to be a lot happier and you're going to be more comfortable there. I do apologize if it looks like I was flipping people off. I wasn't. I just realized that here, but
Get it right or pay the price.
anyways, so yeah, this feels good. After using it for a while, and again, the big test was Xenocrisis, because you move around constantly and a lot. No trouble LNRs. More importantly, my hands didn't hurt afterwards. I mean, with the PS4 controller, it just feels really bulky. It even feels bulkier now. And I'm sorry, but I love a real D-pad. I don't like controllers like on the PS4. It's like 4 buttons, and the Nintendo Switch, they do the same thing. It's 4 buttons. No, I like a real D-pad. And then where the menu button is here in the middle, perfect. I thought maybe that would be awkward having to press menu for quick loads and quick saves. No problem. And then start and select out of the way. This controller. Oh, and then one of my favorite features. Look how long this is. Oh my god.
That's what she said.
Super long cord. Yes. For me, I don't know. I like not having another device to charge. Having a long cord is perfect. There's 0 latency. There's no lag. And it gives you that old school feeling. I mean, for me, I love that. So yeah, I like that the defaults are wired. If you're one of those people out there that wants something different, hey, you've got options. You can get other controllers. For me, other than nostalgia, why would you? With the exception of an arcade stick and maybe a trackball and spinner, which we'll talk about that in some of the other sections. So yeah, knocked it out of the park. I love it. No issues there. But the main important thing I've talked about in other videos. Does this satisfy the need to be able to sit back and relax and play games, get the nostalgia feel, and get to chill out? Yes, it does! So yeah, totally knocked it out of the park there. Everything is good. The VS delivered exactly what I expected here. So, now we've talking about all the good things. Let's talk about the bad things, or maybe the improvements that there may be. Alright, so now to talk about, I guess you could call some of the bad things or improvements, right? I gotta be objective. No. So, first of all, so the first thing that I want to talk about that really bothers me is that we need some type of trackball and spinner, okay? Pretty much all the games, like Warlords, unplayable. I'm sorry. That needs a spinner. Super Breakout, unplayable. It does not work with the controller. Centipede and all that, yes, that's playable. I think that's fine. But, I'll throw a trackball in that same. If we had a trackball, that would make it much better. So Blaze, you need to add spinner/trackball support. And I don't care if you guys want to create your own controller for that, or if there's some other third party that works. Yeah, we need that. So that's that's kind of one of my bigger complaints. Is some of those games either unplayable or they would just be so much more fun. Now, another thing I have to address is that you can only, let me repeat this, I can only play the vertical arcade games on the VS. Yes, me personally, I can only play our vertical arcade games on the VS.
You are unique.
And I'm talking about like your centipedes, your millipedes, Minky Monkey, all those. Why? Well, on the handheld, the screen for me, it's too small. Looks fantastic, on the VS, but on the screen it's too small. So, but what they do need to do, and they need to do this for both the handheld and the VS, update the firmware so you can turn it to a vertical position. Two things: there would be no borders on the VS. You can have a vertical monitor, and they also have vertical monitor stands where you can tilt it from either way, make it really easy. And then those awesome arcade games that you enjoy on the VS, you can play on the handheld and vice versa. Just turn it sideways, like the Wonder Swan.
Wonder Swan.
And I've talked about this. So why do I say this needs to be improved for the VS? Because yeah, technically, while those carts are compatible, they'll run on the handheld. Honestly, you can really only play them on the VS. So yeah, they need to go ahead and fix that. Firmware update. Get on it. Another thing that I wish that they would go ahead and add is I wish they would let you know when a new firmware update is available. I mean, you just have to go in, and I've been checking it every day. It would be really, really cool just, when you log in, if they said, hey, there's a new firmware update available. Do you want to proceed? And you could say skip, and then you wouldn't be bugged about it again until another update came about, or you went back to the main screen. So that, I definitely feel that they need to fix. And here's another thing, and
just one more thing.
For me, this is this is a big miss. I want to see more borders. Not only that, I want to see borders per game and or per system. Because all the other emulation devices that are there, when you fire them up, they give you the borders. Yes, we have some cool ones, but what I want when I play a game, give me borders. If I play a console, give me the console borders, like a Super Nintendo Genesis. Now, if there's issues, I understand maybe with licensing or they can't do that. Just have a repository. They load them up separately. Have a repository. I have a third-party hosted. But yeah, I definitely would like more borders to be per game. It'd be nice to have like a generic arcade cabinet. I mean, they don't have to put the logo that says like Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. They could just have a console that resembles it. But we need more borders and more themes. I think that would be cool. That just in the UI, and then maybe more background sounds. Even though the one that comes with is super sick. But yeah, I really want more customization, or at least the options to download. Let me fill up that 4 gig internal storage, or if I have to take a USB key and plug it in to add on these extra things. I mean, I know that opens it to hacking, but I would like that to go ahead and be there. Okay, the other big thing that I really want to see are leaderboards. So for me, and I'll say this, leaderboards are more important than multiplayer. For me, online multiplayer. Why? Got your couch co-op. For me, I want the bragging rights. I've been watching a lot of videos, like on the iArcade, at Games Arcade, all those other devices, and you know what? They have a global leaderboard. We need this for Evercade. We need bragging rights. Although, we need to have that special classic gaming mode where you can't use any save states and you only get 1 credit for arcade. Yeah, I want a leaderboard. I want the bragging rights. Friends lists and all that, sure. I mean, that can happen, but this doesn't have to become like an ant stream. That's a whole separate thing. Online multiplayer would be cool, and I think that would be fun. But for me, I want the bragging rights. That's so cool. I think you would get the community involved even more by doing that. Even if they had to do like a QR code where you get it, use your phone, go in there. Yeah, we need some of that stuff. I understand we can't have everything day one. I guess one of the other things too, I understand this is licensing and all that. Would love to be able to play my Namco collections, or if this does pave the way to have a Namco arcade, give me that collection, and I would be just as happy. But I love the overall feel of the console. It feels like a modern retro. Everything is done really well. I guess for me, it's not much of a problem, but I know there's people out there that would really love to actually be able to plug their handheld into it, get some updates. Yeah, why not? Go ahead and throw that in there. I guess it would make it a little bit easier, being that I have two handhelds that I have to update. So sure, why not? Go ahead and throw that in there. And then I guess the other thing that I would really like to see, especially since we're having to wait a while on the next release of games, give us some more secret codes, give us some more hidden games, give me some more magic to hold me over. Yes, I got a bunch of cards, but that would be nice. So yeah, overall, very, very pleased. Definitely delivered, and I only see good things happening from here. So what I want to know, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section below. If you own a VS or VS Founder Edition, what do you think? Are you happy with it now after getting to spend some time with it? Are there some other features that you really, really like to see? Let's go ahead and chat it up. There's some things that you disagree with me on. Am I being weird about certain things more than normal? But yeah, just have to thank everyone again from the Retro Evercade community. Thank you so much for your support. And well, I created content. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.